Start recording. Yeah, there's an hour fair value gap down here, 2 session lows and a daily VI, which are all draws in liquidity. So when I was in a sell yesterday, which was late yesterday afternoon, I thought, oh, lovely, we're headed down over there now, we're going to grab that. And my stop loss was above London High, which is where that yellow line is. Taffy got into it a bit as well, I think, and he was already in one. But obviously we went to bed, and it didn't work out that way. The market did what it wanted and smashed everybody. So that was the what was behind this, is which way are we going to go, basically, and what direction are we trending in. So at this point here in London, I was still thinking there was a good chance we could go back down here a bit, and I thought that is sort of like, from here, get there, maybe have a bounce off there and get further down, which was what my original bias was, right? However, that didn't pan out either, and I think Taffy put it in the VIP chat. We had a good chat in there today, and we had this big pump up on London. So, which was like, oh, okay, wasn't expecting that, because I had visions we were going down for the cycle low, which were sort of like, it's due today, tomorrow. You can have 6 days either side of that, and it doesn't have to be a down low, it could be a higher low, but we're within that sort of time frame with all this sort of malarkey down here, and I'm thinking, there's a good chance we're going to go down there. Anyway, like I say, it didn't pan out that way, flew up there, right? Can't win them all, and that's what the market will do. It'll bugger you up. So this was the state of play. I put it on replay by here just to show the lads. Look, the lads and me and you today. And this was a state of play coming into 2 o'clock, right? Now, the New York open is 2:30. So this is a recognised pattern. You've got a flag pattern after a big push up. So that could be bearish or bullish. And I'm thinking, looking at that, thinking, right, okay, what's going to happen here then? So just watching it play out, and this is educational. And initially, it looks like it's going to swing up, right, and break the trend line.
Broke out, didn't it?
Yeah. But that is, and this is one of the interesting parts, right? That is a fake out. But you don't know it's a fake out, because you could have jumped into a buy there and gone for glory. Chucked a couple £100 on there and, hope for the best kind of thing. But it proved to be a fake out when it did. I mean, still looks good there. And this is a good education to wait for confirmation and then go. Don't always get the confirmation, but if you get a tap and go there now, it becomes more
If it rejects that lower, if it doesn't want to go lower.
You got it. But as it happened, it didn't reject. Now, it still might reject from here because price isn't perfect. It doesn't follow stupid lines that we put on the chart, but it'll still follow the overall pattern. So that still looked okay. That might come into play, but then it comes back up. Yeah, looking all right. Still looks like it could go, and then it started doing that, and I'm thinking, right, okay, good job I didn't jump in too early, but and then it breaks the other side. So once it breaks the other side there, you're thinking, right, okay, this looks like it was a fake out, right? So I entered a short there on the basis that that's a fake out.
Yeah.
And then bosh. And we had a lovely little run down there. I couldn't believe it was dropping as much. But I thought, no, right, okay, is this going to go all the way now to my original bias, which is down here, right? But then this is where the education bit comes in again. Now you're going to think, well, if he was going to do that, he would have done it yesterday. So I thought, right, I'll just trail this down now, take what I can get. This became, the London session low then became a good sort of like point of interest or target area.
Yeah.
So move my stop into profit, maybe not there, maybe a bit further down again. Yeah, about by there, I think, because that's an order block as well. That's part of, so ideally now to continue lower, we need to break that level there, right? So I think when it did that, I moved my stop into profit. Yeah. Is it there? Not quite. Go again.
Do you mainly trade at like a minute
No,
You mark out your fair value gaps are larger.
not at all. When I start analysing a chart on a Sunday at the start of the week, right, I start on the monthly. So I look at the monthly, and then I look at the weekly, then I look at the daily, then the 4 hour, 1 hour, 15. But when I'm in the trade, if it's a scalp, if it's a swing trade, it's not relevant, right? But when you're scalping, the minute time frame will give you the minutia, right? You can enter precisely off a minute time frame, and you can have your stop loss precisely a minute time frame. But that's only for scalping. For swing trading, it makes zero difference, right? Because you need a lot more data. So this was just a scalp, that's all. So I'm already in a good profit there. I think, yeah, went down more. I thought, oh, this is nice. And we went all the way down there, look. I think I got out, when we started bouncing on this yellow line, which is what bugged me up yesterday, I got out about there, right? So I didn't take the full profit. But that was basically a lovely little move, which was easy to read when you know what you're looking for. 32 points. So 32 points in that with a bit of welly behind it is good money, you know. And that's the only move you need in a day. That would have been enough for the day, right?
And what would you have placed on? Obviously, I'm not saying I would, but sort of relative to your account.
I think I didn't do much on that one. I think I did a 0.2 or something, 0.3 maybe. But that's still a good payday. I had a 0. What did I have on yesterday? I had a 0.1 on yesterday, and I told the boys in the VIP chat, I said, look, I'm going to load this up a bit because I think it's going to drop, right? Not guaranteed. So I think when it was down by here, my stop loss was up here, and my risk was something like 178 quid. But if it had gone down to my take profit, which was down here, which I wish it had, I'd have been 580 quid up. So it's a good.
Was it for 3 hours?
Yeah, so that's for three hours. See? So that was worth it to me, and I was sort of like married to bias a little bit, which is never, not always a good thing, but it didn't play out. But this one today played out lovely. But the story behind it is where the education is, So that's what.
If you don't mind, I'm just being a sponge here. So how do you, whatever asset it is, how do you start analysing? How do you look at it? What's your sort of thought behind it?
Like I say,
How do you look for a trade?
like I say, when I do the charts at start of the week for the boys, right, to give them some guidance, I'll start from the monthly down. So I look at what the monthly is doing. Let me turn it off a minute. Leave. It's a lot. It's a
different to TJ.
Yeah. Well, it is and it isn't, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all supply and resistance, right? It's just different ways of doing it. So on the monthly now, I don't want to delete anything in here because I want to keep the drawings.
No.
But on the monthly now, you've got exactly the same thing as you got in the 1 minute. Right? You got, that is a volume imbalance. That's a volume balance in the daily, but it's also a volume balance on a monthly. That is a big red candle, which is closed lower than that one, which indicates downward pressure. So I'll have a look at that to get an overall feeling where I am. Then I'll go to the weekly, see what that shows me. And then I'll go to the daily, see what information that layers in for me as well. And I'll go to 4 hour, 1 hour, 15, which by the time I get to the 4 hour, 1 hour, I know what I'm thinking, right? So then I look at the 15 for confirmation, and then when I'm ready to enter, then I'll play stops or whatever. I'll go into the 1 minute when I'm in the trade. If it's a scalp, if it's a swing trade, not relevant, right? So top-down analysis, that's called, and it needs a bit of practice, and in all honesty, you need a bit of, if you can get a bit of guidance on it, all the better. So NAS 100. So this is, if you're ever on...
You did well on that as well, didn't you, today?
I always do well on NAS. NAS is my little baby. Start new. Right. A lot of the time, see, with the boys, I will jump on with the session like you and me are on now. I'll jump on most days or a lot of days on New York Open as well. So I walk them through this, but they, like you know, they are trying to get used to the way that I do it compared to what TJ does, which is,
To me, it was like, wow, fucking hell.
yeah, what the fuck is this guy on about? Like,
Pretty much.
hey Morgan, 1 second, Ignace, please. Morgs. Hang on, let me tell it. Can I speak a minute? I'm on a call with Nick Nass now, one of the boys in the server, and he's retired from doing the doors a couple of days ago. Got loads of work.
Oh, sweet.
I was just telling Morgan that you've just retired from the doors, pal. But
Need a replacement, big booster fill, size 11.
well, he's not in your league yet. Give it. He's a young sapling yet, mate. Right. So, right. This is what I'm looking at. This is the way that I scalp on New York Open with Naz, right? So again, I've done all my top-down analysis. I know what I'm looking at on the bigger time frames, and all this is in play. Obviously, on the indices, we've been in this parabolic blow off top, you know, for quite a while now, and I don't think that's finished yet, but I need a daily close on here to adjust my trend line. So I think we got higher to go yet again. Could be wrong, but we'll see. So anyway, go back to the 1 minute. The green session is just the start of New York Open, so that's very often sort of like 2:30, 3 o'clock when I'll jump on live and sort of see if I can help the boys a bit. So first thing I look at, right, on this is what happens in the Open. On the Open, we got a big dive down and we got a big bounce back up. Pretty plain to see, right? And then we've got this.
Another one right up, isn't it?
Yeah, but not enough, because very often in the Open, see what you'll get is point of three, power of 3, right? You'll get some consolidation beforehand, which is this area here, and then what it'll normally do is manipulate one way. AMD it's called.
I've seen it sort of go one way quite a lot, and then makes you think, right, it's going that way. Everyone loads up, and then it turns around.
Exactly that, right? Accumulation, manipulation to make you think one thing and sucker everybody in, right? And then distribution the opposite way, because what it's doing, every one of these lows here, right, has got stops behind it. So when it does this at the Open, what it's doing is it's taking people out of the trades. Now, what people don't realise with trading, right, is every buyer has got to have a seller, and every seller has got to have a buyer. It's like buying a house. You can't buy a house if nobody's selling one. The shares and lots are exactly the same, right? So there's always a parity between the two. So when it does this behaviour, what it's doing is getting fuel to make the real move. So this is accumulation, potentially manipulation, and then distribute the way it really wants to go. If you've gone that way first, right, and suckered everybody into going that way, there's a good chance it's going to go that way. But you don't know until it starts playing out, right? But that's making some sense behind there. We won't have time to cover everything tonight, but it'll help you, right? So technically,
It's just nice to learn.
yeah, of course it is.
Things and
And like I said, like, you know, trading by yourself is a bit lonely, like, you know. So, and I enjoy.
It must be nice for you to get our boys together, just have a chat, and
It's brilliant, mate. It's brilliant, mate. A couple of them are doing like coaching with me, and they're coming on in leaps and bounds. But it's also nice to have the company in the days as well, you know. So technically, right, there's a little fair value gap there, but it's not much of a one, right? So normally you get one fair value gap and it's clear, but really speaking, there's 2 there. But I went for that one, right? But a fair value gap needs 3 candles. So there's your third, and there's the fair value gap, right? So I'm sat there looking at this now thinking, okay, looks like we're going up. So chances are now we're going to manipulate down, right? And today was a tough day to read, Naz. So I'm sitting there, I haven't entered a trade at this point. So I'm sitting there waiting for the macros on. Yeah. See these white lines by here?
I was going to say one of those.
That's the macro, right? The macro time window. And all that is the last 10 minutes of the hour and the first 10 minutes of the next hour. And the reason that's important is, again, it's timing based. So that is when you get a lot of moves coming together are happening. Not guaranteed, but usually if you got consolidation, the macro will sort of light the fire underneath it. So the next macro, but then now is not due until, what are we, 52, 3, 4, 5, right? That's the next macro window. So very often I won't place a trade until we get to that macro. It all depends what this does, because normally with the opening you give it 10 or 15 minutes to...
I've seen someone watch a load of videos and they always say, don't trade half hour before and half hour after. So leave that hour to play out, to actually see which way he wants to go.
Exactly that. But there are so many people who will say the exact opposite, is trying to work it out for yourself, right? That is pre-market and that is the opening. So in that window, but there, a lot of people will go, oh, bugger that, I'm going to wait. And a lot of the time, I will. But for me, because I'm experienced, it depends on what happens as well. Sometimes if it looks good and it looks like because of my higher time frame analysis, I've already got my ideas. So if I can see that playing out, that may or may not be good enough for me. But that is where the skill part of it comes in and the experience. Does that make sense?
You put so many confluences and, so behind it, not just, right, okay, it's moving up and I'm jumping in.
You got it, my man. You got it. Right, so now we go forward a candle. Now it looks like the first fair value gap there now isn't holding, right? So when we get to that, it takes out the drawn liquidity, right, which comes from this next high here and this high here. So when it does that, now it's swept the drawn liquidity. So I'm still watching at this point, I haven't done nothing. Now, that is a close below, or 1 minute close below the fair value gap, right? So I entered a short there before the macro window, because I thought, right, the chances now is taking some liquidity from here. It's spiked down and gone up. So that's a fake out. Drawn liquidity, bang down. I thought, right, let's go for London low. So I entered a short there with my stop loss just above there, which isn't a big stop loss. So, because it's not a big stop loss, obviously you got more potential, So that played out, I believe.
That's beautiful, that was.
Come up, retested the first presented fair value gap, which is a good indication. Now you could have got in there like I did, or you could have got in there, which would have been what I would have more normally done, because that is right almost in the macro window, right? So I think the macro just kicked in there. So watch what happens when that kicks in now. Yeah, the macro's already started there, look, see? So this is retested it within the macro window. So we pretty much know what's going on now. We know the score now. Bosh.
Beauty.
Played out, see? So that's an indication of the bigger story coming into play there. But it didn't finish there for me, because now, right, we've swept a session low. Right, now we've got, and this is where it gets really fun, we got a classic V-shaped reversal after sweeping a low. So I was still watching. My trade is done now. My first trade is done anyway. So I'm watching here. I'm thinking, right. Now, this has rejected again. So, right, okay, is it going to go lower? What's it going to do? Then it's in. Now, if I get a close above there, that's a buy-in signal. See that up there? Buy-in signal. I put another shorter, smaller size long on here, because my next drawn liquidity is the London high. We've done London low, right? Now we're going to do London high. And this one nearly killed me, I won't lie, because I sat in it for hours. And that's the truth.
Is your hand as bad?
Well, I had to switch it off and go and make some food because it would have done my head in otherwise. But this is the way that played out, right? Once that accumulation happened and it moved, I was pretty confident, and we gone past that drawing on liquidity. I was even more confident it was going to play out then, right? So I waited for it to go up a bit more.
Jesus.
Moved my stop into profit there. So now I can go down the pub. I can go and, run a bath. I can go to the gym. I can do whatever I want to do. Because it don't matter. I'm not going to lose now. It's a free trade. I've already won one. And I've won on gold on this one, right? So, and this is how it worked out in the end. Bosh. Job done.
Fucking hell.
You like...
The genius, right? I can't say I understand all of it, but